High above the misty valleys, where the wind whispers through the pines, I set out to build a mountain village worthy of a lord. In this episode of Manor Lords, I'll take you through how I carved a thriving medieval settlement onto the cliffs, from humble beginnings to a fortress among the clouds. So from a starting location, I'm not too far from where I want to place my actual city, so we're going to obviously utilize this hilltop over here, maybe having the manor on this side, and then the rest of the city is going to expand here towards the back. As the slopes get steep going down, it becomes more difficult to place a lot of the structures. But what I like to see is we've got an infinite clay deposit, so this is definitely going to be one of our money makers. Then we've also got a wild animal spawning point, which is definitely going to be one of the first foods that we're going to produce. We've got a berry deposit over here, and I did see an infinite stone deposit right here at the back. So that's going to help us obviously with the dress stone once we've got the manor up, and then that dress stone we can then also eventually sell. And so between the clay and the dress stone, we're going to have some really good money making items that we can utilize. So I'm going to extend the road from here. I'm going to bring it up, and I kind of like want to bring it all the way through like this. I want to try and utilize as much space as I can. So I'm going to do a lot of like a blocky suburban type of style of build over here, just to maximize or to optimize the space. So we're going to then from here, I'm going to pull the road through all the way, and we can place it to roundabout over there. That's where we should have the manor. Now also what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my granary and my stores. I want to have it really central. So the granary can be over there and the stores right next to it. And then we need to look for a water point, and the water does actually cross this exact point, so that's perfect. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring another road here behind it. I'm going to just corner it off like this, and I'm going to pull it through all the way to roundabout over here. Okay, so now the space that we've got next to the well, we can use this for the market stalls. So let's just see here, if we pull this through, yeah, we've got a space for 18 stalls. I suppose I can do this as well. I can pull it all the way through, then we've got space for 22. Yeah, so let's rather do that. Okay, then I need to look to place my logging camp. That's the first thing, or the next thing that I want to do, is to have the logging camp. And we're probably gonna have to move it down. I'm guessing let's maybe make a road come through right over here, like so. Okay, so then the logging camp should fit over here. There we go. And the woodcutters I'm going to also place not far from here. So I actually want to use both the woodcutters and the logging camp to just clear out as many of the trees here at the top as we can, and that will just help us with the city layout itself. Now I'm going to try and squeeze maybe 2 rows of burgage plots in here. I'm going to see if I can get that done. So it's going to be relatively small burgage plots, and there's shrines that's been placed here from the beginning, so they're there by default. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take these shrines out. They're gonna just be in the way. All right, so we're gonna just build up our timber and set up all of our primary structures. I do feel like I want to move the hitching post. We can maybe keep that one, just move it maybe towards that side, but we can keep one hitching post over there, and then we can maybe have another one somewhere here on the top. So let's just check this out. I've got 8 timber now, so we can set up 4 burgage plots. So I just want to maybe pull a road through over here. So this will just help to corner off the burgage plot, and we want to make it kind of small. So let's just do a few. I'm going to pull it up like this. I want to make sure there's enough space at the back so that we can have that extension. Now I think this will be actually perfect. So you see there, we can fit another row of burgage plots in there. I think so. I'm really hoping so. So let's just place those there, and I'm gonna just add another one. We kind of want to try and keep it as straight as possible. Now I'm gonna wait for the timber just to accumulate, then I'm gonna add a few extra burgage plots, and then we can start with the second row over here. You see what's nice now here with the second row of burgage plots that we can build, I can make the extension a little bit bigger here. So I'm gonna pull it through or down like this. So there you can see then we've got a nice extension. Yeah, let's maybe do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to add this extension. I'm going to pull it right through like this. Yeah, we've got a 60% extra planting cost, but also it will be a 60% extra production. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to extend it through like this as well. Do a secondary one. Here we go. And that can also be for our vegetables. And we can just proceed like this and try and squeeze as much in as we can. There we go. There's the third one as well. So this will be for our crops specifically. Also set up myself here a forager hut so that we can start harvesting the berries, because obviously we don't have a big wild animal spawning point over here, so we are struggling a little bit with the food from that side. But I've started placing my veggie crops over here. Now in order to actually have the crops, we need to have a little bit of extra coin, so I need to set up my trading post. And let's just see, we need to, I think this is a good location for it, right? We can still squeeze this church in here somewhere. Yeah, you know, on the other hand, I'm gonna maybe use this space for the church, because this seems to be the only spot that's working for the church. Let's just see. So if we do, we can maybe do the trading post right next to it over here. There is a little space that we can use. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we just need that extra timber, then we can place our trading post over here, and we can have the church right next to that. So my trading post is in, and you can see that I've managed to squeeze in a whole bunch of burgage plots over here. So we've actually utilized the space really in a good way, I think. And we can now just go ahead and place our church on this side. So yeah, this is a pretty good and central location for the church. So I just want to kind of angle it. Come on, work with me here. This is gonna have to do. We're gonna just do it like this. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna assign a family here to the trading post, and we can start trading our firewood and maybe the planks as well. We did use a lot of it for the church now specifically, but let's just say export over here, so we can export when we're over 20, and then also for the firewood. Yeah, let's just do that, export, and we can do that when we're over 90. I just want to see, it's only, oh no, there we go, it's a 10 months supply for fuel, so that's fine. I'm gonna let them then sell the firewood when we get over 90. And then we can now, when we get that extra families, we can assign them here to the clay pits. And then that can also be a commodity that we can start selling off. And I'm going to have to look at adding my crops over here. So we only need 22 coin to get the carrot garden up. And then once that is up, I think we should be able, our food will stabilize a little bit more once we've got that up and going. I initially thought the burgage plot extensions will handle these slopes, but I think it's simply just too steep. So let's just see here, if I pull it, even if I make it shorter, it's just simply too steep for it to work. Even if I make like really tiny ones, you can see that's not going to work. So I'm going to just have to go ahead and try and squeeze in as much as I can going up here towards the manor side. So we're going to pretty much have to utilize all of the space here at the top to make our fantasy kingdom work. Alright, but I did get some extra burgage plots in that I managed to squeeze here in the little corner, and we've got a few trading items that we've got going. Now I do need to set up my clay pit, because the clay is going to be a really awesome commodity for us to sell. So let's do that. We're going to set up ourselves a mining pit, no issue over here. So it's kind of level. If we go down with an angle like here, you can see, yeah, this is a pretty flat surface that we've got over here. If I really want to, I can maybe add some crops here at the top, although I think the crops might get affected also because of the elevation. I know specifically with the sheep the elevation will kill them off, but I do believe the crops also struggle a little bit with the high elevation. I mean, yeah, if you look here, in any case our yield is going to be very low just because of the map, the specific region that we are on. Even if we go down here, yeah, you can see it's pretty much all around. We don't have any good fertility. There's a little patch over here, but the fertility seems to be better if it's on a lower elevation. You can see this whole area over here is fantastic for crops. So but this whole mountain range, that's not going to work. Okay, but either way, we're going to then just use the the burgage plot extensions to do some crops. And the clay pit is going to be such an awesome thing for us to just sell that clay. And then eventually we can sell roof tiles also. But it's a lot of production and a lot of work to get the roof tiles going for not so much money. So you might as well just sell the clay. You know, I'm pretty surprised that these burgage plot extensions are actually functioning, because I didn't realize how steep these slopes are. But just have a look at this. This is pretty wild. So it goes down like with a really steep angle, but at least we could get these crop fields up, and that will produce us some extra carrots. Now from here I want to add the tavern, and it's not appropriate, but we're going to place the tavern right across from where the church is. I just think that's the best location for it. And we're going to have a burgage plot right over here. We can maybe have two, actually. So I'm going to extend it to the back, and then we've got a nice big crop field here. Okay, so this is going to be fantastic for us to just produce the extra crops that we're going to need here for this population. Just want to make it perfectly square. A little bit higher. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I think this should be fine. We're going to place it like that. So we've got enough housing then for 2 families in there. And then I'm going to add a few extra burgage plots on this side. Let's just see. If we extend it like this. There we go. We've got 3 that we can do, extensions. I just want to see, I want to kind of like do the same principle or the same thing that I did here with the tavern. I want to do maybe here with the church. So let's build an extension over here and try and bring it around. Yeah, this is going to work. I'm going to do it like this. Bring it all the way through. Yeah. So we can maybe do orchards on this side, and then we can do carrots or cabbage on that side. And then we've got room for another 2 families. And then we can just add a whole bunch of extra burgage plots right next to this one. So I've got these 2 burgage plots up now. I've got carrots on this side, and I've got apples on this side. And now we can go ahead and add a few extra burgage plots towards this side. I'm going to move the forager hut maybe a little bit down. I'm going to see if I can squeeze it somewhere over here. Don't know if they will allow me with the steep slope, but we'll look for a location for the forager hut. But yeah, we've got plenty of space now to add extra burgage plots over here. We can really go down and extend it all the way over here, as long as we've got a decent size space over here for our manor. But I've also started producing my clay. I've got 1 family assigned over here, so now we can use this also as a commodity that we can sell. So let's just quickly go here to the trading post. I'm gonna go to crafting materials, yeah. And we don't need, it's a minor trade. So we can just go ahead and say export. And let's just maybe say export when we've got over 10. Let's just keep a little bit in storage. I'm going to do that. And once we've got a decent production of carrots, we can start selling that off also. As you can see, we do get good money for that. So let's say export. And I do want to only export once it's over a certain amount. I'm going to say over 50. I think that will keep us safe with the food supply. And then I'm going to also go ahead and purchase myself a horse, also just to improve the trading. We've got enough coin. I'm going to purchase one. Just want to see, we do have enough stable space. We've got currently 3 oxen, so we're going to use now the last space here for the horse. We'll get some extra hitching posts and stables. That'll set up on a little bit of a later stage. But let's just see if we do move the forager hut, if we can move it maybe towards this side. Yeah, you see, this is going to be a problem. I'm not sure if we build an extended road here at the back. This might also be too steep for it. But I just want to see, maybe we can get it right. We just squeeze it here at the top. Yes, okay. Perfect stuff. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to squeeze it right in over there. And it's out of our way. We're not going to use that space at all. And now we've got 4 families. No, that's all the families that are assigned to the forager. But I think I'm going to just keep 2 families there for the forager. We can go ahead and maybe just add another family here for the mining pit. We actually got a new family that came in, so let's assign another family here to the trading post. And then once I've got that extra coins generated, I'm going to start importing some stone. Well, I don't know if I should import it. I might as well just send some people to mine the stone. It's going to take ages to get down here. Oh my word. Yeah, this is a very long and winding road down the mountain. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so maybe I should just rather import the stone. I'll set up a proper mine on a later stage, but I think for now we're gonna maybe have to just import that stone. Not too expensive in any case. But yeah. Alright, so we're gonna now add some extra burgage plots. Let's see, we've got plenty of timber. So that's just gonna set us up very nicely for these extra burgage plots. And we can stand it all the way down and do it like this. Now these ones we can then also utilize as crop fields, or we can use veggie gardens and orchards. I just want to see, I don't know why it's not allowing me to build. Oh, okay, I see. We need to take these supplies. So somebody has to come and fetch those supplies. Alright. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so this should sort us out. See, there we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got another 4 burgage plots. We're going to produce a nice extra amount of food from that. And yeah, you can see the food is pretty stable now at this stage. Between the carrots and the berries, it's doing pretty good. I think from here on going forward, I want to maybe just set up some pig farms. I think I should get that going. Just to give us that extra pork meat. But we do need a variety of foods. So meat being one of the varieties. And then that will help us to level up all the burgage plots. Let's just see. 61 coin, regional wealth, trade. Okay, so we're going to need 15 of the rubble stone. Import. And yeah, let's just make it 15 so that we can set up our manor. Just to get that going. And we have started exporting the clay. It does seem like it. Okay, cool. Right, so we've got a nice influx of cash at the moment. What I think I want to do is I want to open up certain routes over here. So specifically for the clay, I would say would be a good idea for the exporting. So we'll trade that more frequently and bigger quantities of that. I think this is a good one to have. So we can establish a proper trade route for this one. And then also for the food, I think for the carrots. We're going to do a lot of trade with the carrots. I think so. I wanted to wait a little while longer before I set up the mining camp here at the bottom where the stone deposit is. But I think I'm going to just get going with that. And yeah, whoever's going to mine here at the bottom, that's going to be like the shittiest job ever. Because they're going to have to come down this mountain all the way from here. And they've got to then mine over here and then make their way all the way back up. It's a pretty wild walk. So I've already got a road over here. We're going to extend it down. I don't know how effective this is going to be, but we're going to just extend the road down. Let's kind of make it like this. Here we go. Alright, so let's set up ourselves a mining camp. Now we do need the quarry, not the actual stone gatherer camp. We need the quarry for this in order so that we can get the rough stone eventually. So I'm going to just place it over there and let's just see if this works. I don't think it's going to be as productive and effective, but we're going to have to get going with that. I don't have any tools left, so that's another thing. I'm going to have to start importing some tools. So let's just see, import. Alright, I'm going to say no trade for the cobblestone. And let's rather import some tools. And I think we can import up until we've got 4 tools. Just to do the general maintenance with everything. So from here I want to make a whole bunch of smaller burgage plots. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the road through like this. And yeah, let's just maybe do it like that. There we go. And for these burgage plots, I'm going to specifically use the pigs that I'm going to farm at the extension slot. So I want to make it really small. So just big enough. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to have to kind of move it a little bit up. There, that's kind of square. Right, so all of these ones, they're going to have pigs in the extension slots. I know with the goat specifically we do get the hide, but I'm not going to use the hide for this city specifically. And unfortunately we won't be able to utilize the sheep. I mean, if you look at the elevation, so you can see over here, all around, it's a pretty large radius that we can't place the sheep. Well, we can place it, but you will lose sheep in the winter time when it gets colder. You will probably lose a couple of sheep, so it will kind of like be counterproductive. I do feel like I'm tempted to try and test how many sheep I'm gonna lose, you know, just as a test. Maybe I must just set up a small pasture and see how bad it's going to affect them, and then obviously then I'll only buy the sheep in summertime, and yeah, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe we don't lose that many sheep, and then we can still kind of like benefit from it. I mean, because we can still sell the wool and we can then produce the yarn also. So we've got these extra burgage plots now, and like I say, I'm going to use this for the pig specifically. There's just a third one I still need to assign over here, and we're going to just produce that extra meat. And now our quarry is also finished over here. Let's just check this out. Alrighty, okay, so they can get going with this. Wow, it's just like such a steep slope for them to come down from. But yeah, we're going to see how effective this is going to be. I think I've got 2 families assigned here now. Let's just see. Yeah, there's 2 of them. Okay, cool. And I see the quarry also requires maintenance, 3 tools per year, which isn't too bad. Alright, but we're going to build up our rubblestone, and then we can use that rubblestone then to start setting up our manor. The rubblestone production is actually not as slow as I thought it would be, so we've already got 14, and we're also starting to collect the rough stone. And that rough stone, I mean, I can sell that if I want to, but I think what I really want to do is I want to maybe get myself the stone mason station over here and place it maybe not too far from where my storehouse is. I'm going to see if I can find a little location over here somewhere not too far from the storehouse, and then we can start doing the dress stone. And yeah, we're going to really need that once we get going with the manor. So we're just waiting for that 1 extra rubble stone to set up the base structure. But I also wanted to say the reason why I'm doing the pig specifically is that when we go over here to this tab, to the environment tab, you can see there that we've got the majority of this region that we are in is woodlands. And you'll also see that these are the 3 affinities that you get with the specific region. So you get panage, which will basically give you extra yield from the pigs, and there's a 74% extra effect. Now I think it's a 74% extra production bonus. I believe that's what it means. But they eat the mast and the acorn that they get from the woods. And then over here we also get the growth rate of the wild animals, the berries and the mushroom. That's also a plus 74%. So I must say the wild animals, they do recover quite quickly after I hunt it. And then we've also got the tannery yield, which I'm not really going to use. I mean, we're only going to use the tannery now for shoes, which we're definitely going to not use in this game. So only the tier 3 burgage plots require the shoes. So yeah, I don't think we're going to use that. That would just be unnecessary work for us. Alright, let's just add another pig over there. Okay, so we've got now all the rubblestone that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the base structure for our manor. Long overdue. And let's just see. I want to bring it right to the end of the road over here. Here we go. That's it. And at least we can now start taxing the people, and we can also set up our retinue. And I can start just taking out those bandit camps that is taking all of our resources. I didn't think so initially, but you can really fit a lot of burgage plots on the small space here at the top. So I mean, we've already got 23 families altogether in this little space, and you do however have to build like a kind of suburban style of layout like I'm doing over here if you want to really utilize the space to its optimum. So yeah, but we're going to do that. I thought I might be able to use the slopes maybe a little bit better, but that's not going to work. So we're going to just lay it out over here. I'm going to add the extra burgage plots. See if we can do this. There we go. We want some more extra small ones. And we've got another 5 that we can squeeze in over here. That's perfect. We're going to do it just like that. Okay, I've got my forester also set up here because you can see they are clearing out this place pretty quickly. So I'm probably going to have to build another forester hut pretty soon. But if you've got the logging camp and the woodcutter's lodge fully staffed, you will require, I would say, 3 forester's huts. 3 forester huts to compensate for all of the wood that they're taking out. And we do kind of want to keep the forest here. I was hoping they will like dig out the trees more towards this side. But anyways, we do want to maintain the forest so that we can get that extra benefits from the woodlands. Now the stonemason station is really small, so you won't believe it. We can actually squeeze it in right over here. This is perfect. So I'm going to drop it down over here. And this is what we're going to use to make the dress stone. And then the dress stone eventually is going to become a trading commodity for me as well. So I just want to see if we do trade with the dress stone, how much do we get? I'm going to have to open up this trade because it is part of the major trades. So let's just open it up and see. Oh wow, yeah, you see. So we can get 7 coin for the dress stone. So this is really going to come in handy. So any excessive dress stone that we've got, we can then sell that off. But we are going to require quite a bit for the manor itself. As most of you already know, we are playing the beta 0.8 version. So I think they still have to nerf the amount of resources that is required for the manor. I think it's just pretty crazy at this stage. But yeah, at least we will be producing quite a bit of stone. Now I want to see, we're going to have to upgrade the quarry at a later stage, I think. Or not. Doesn't look like it. Okay, but the clay pit, I know we definitely have to. That's endless underground deposit. Okay, cool. But this we are going to have to upgrade. Rebuild the mining pit. Yeah, okay, so we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to rebuild this. I think they didn't do the maintenance on time, so it requires me now to rebuild the mining pit. So that's a first. I just didn't bring the tools in time, so now they have to rebuild this thing. But yeah, we're going to be able to upgrade this mining pit over here. I see the quarry is not upgradable, but it's also not necessary. And I think what I'm going to also do is I'm going to add maybe a little bit of extra tools. Maybe if we've got 8 tools always at hand, I think that's maybe a good amount. Because now there's a lot of structure that does require maintenance. Let's maybe push it up to 10. Yeah, I've got an extra family available, and I'm going to just assign them here to the stonemason station so that we can start producing our dress stone. And then from here, I want to now expand the manor. So I'm going to probably just start here with the walls and with the gates. I'm not going to go too wild because, as I've mentioned, it gets pretty expensive. So we're going to extend it around. I still want to make it big enough so that the archers can easily get on and off of this wall. Let's just do it like this. Yeah, I think this should do the trick. There we go. So we can place this and we can commit to this. But we do need some extra planks. We're almost there. Right, I'm going to just say close. Yeah, so we can place this once we've got enough planks. I just want to adjust a few things over here. So we are trading with planks. So I'm going to maybe just say sell the planks when we get over, maybe when we get over 80. And then I'm going to tell, oh, where's my sawmill? Oh, there we go. I'm going to tell them just to also produce maybe up to 100. That's it. There we go. Okay, so this should help us out so that we can just get that wall set up. And then once the wall is up, we can place our tower. And this is a pretty good location for it. So I'm going to set the tower over there. Yeah, now this will definitely be the best spot for it. So we're going to plot it down right over there. But funny enough, we couldn't fit a burgage plot in this space, but they do allow us to place the clay furnace over here. So this is what we can use then to create the tiles, the roof tiles. And yeah, I think I want to get going with that as well, because then we can get all the items that we need to upgrade the church as well as the manor. And I kind of like just want to get it out of the way, because if that is done, then we can start using that resource then to trade with, and we can make some really decent money. So let's just get that set up. We've got another space for another three families to move in. So we can then use one of those families to operate this clay furnace over here. And I want to just start upgrading a lot of these burgage plots, specifically the bigger ones, because then it will just help us with the production of all of these items. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade all of these ones. Just a whole bunch of these burgage plots that I want to upgrade. I haven't even assigned the vegetables over here. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just go with the carrots. Here we go. Can't believe I forgot about this one. Okay, let's just upgrade it there. That's it. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna just upgrade those ones for now, and we can leave the rest of the resources now to just build our garrison tower as well. You can see the wall is coming along pretty nicely, and I'm gonna maybe also just say here, make it top priority, very high. All right, so that we can just get that done. And you can see the pork is accumulating over here. Now, I do want to eventually open up a trade route for the pork, because I think we are going to get a pretty good production going over here because of our woodland benefit that we get here, the affinity that we get from the pannage. So I think it's eventually going to really escalate our pork production. And I just want to see what we will be able to get for the pork meat. So I'm just curious. I did see what the value was before in one of my previous games, but I kind of forgot. So I want to just open up this again and just see what we can get from the pork. But obviously the dress stone is going to definitely be probably our top trading commodity. After we've built the manor and upgraded all our other structures. Yeah, that's going to be good. I don't think I'm going to continue with the clay furnace or with the roof tiles, or to use that as an export item. I would rather just work with the clay pit itself. Now we can upgrade the mining pit here to a deep mine, and it's only going to cost us 50 coin and 10 planks. So that's pretty easy. Let's just see how far this is going. Okay, it is progressing. It's pretty wild like how slow the manor takes just to build. But now we've also jumped 2 levels with our settlement level, because I've just upgraded a whole bunch of burgish plots all at the same time. Now you see that at least we can now get that extra tax revenue, because these upgraded burgish plots, they make a big difference with the tax revenue. So I think let's just go ahead and maybe upgrade a few extra. What are we missing? We're missing timber now. So I'm gonna then go ahead and add another family here to the logging camp. And then we can eventually add another family here to the forest also, just to make sure that they don't take out the whole forest over here. But I kind of like the space over here. This is like an industrial hub that we've got going over here. So I kind of like that it's so open. And you can see there's a whole bunch of people working together over here. We've got the 4 families assigned here to the mining pit, just to get the clay. So let's just see if we go in visitor mode, right? Look at this steep hill that we've got to climb to get to the rest of the stuff, but it does look really nice. So I'm going to just run up over here. So with all the vegetation, it kind of looks like nothing's going on here, and then once you reach the top of this hill, then you can see, oh, something is happening over here. Right, and there's some market stalls. Thinking about it, it's really not the most ideal spot. I thought I would have been able to add a few extra burgage plots on this side. But anyways, it does look pretty cool, I must say. And especially if these burgage plots are going to go up to tier 3. Yeah, that's going to look really cool. And I'm going to just start producing those roof tiles now, so that we can then upgrade that church. And also the tavern. I think we might be able to upgrade the tavern already. The tavern doesn't require so many advanced resources as far as I remember. But yeah, we've got a pretty sweet view from this location. From here, I'm gonna now just add this tower. So let's just see a garrison tower, and I'm gonna put it down over here like so. It says road obstructed. I don't know why. In any case, I'm gonna put it down over here. I know it says road obstructed, but it's not really a problem. And we're gonna just say commit. We're gonna put it down right over there. Okay, and then from here I'm gonna just add some extra burgage plots. So got another 2 timber, so we can do a elongated one over here, just like so. There we go. And now we can add a couple of more going up towards this way. So I did manage to upgrade the tavern. So you can see here we've got the large tavern, and I've also upgraded my well. And now we've got a surplus of water for another 22 families. So yeah, I think this well alone is going to be enough for the space that we are going to occupy. Although I'm thinking of maybe just adding another well more towards the top, just to make it more easily accessible. You can see there's a lot of water lines running here in any case. So we can look for a place, maybe even here close to the manor. I think it would make sense to have one maybe over here. Yeah, why not? Let's place one right over there. So you can see also now here that the pork production is building up, like I've mentioned before. We're going to have a few extra burgage plots that's going to produce some extra pork. And I do want to open up that trade route just to see what we can get. But before I open up the pork, I've already opened up the dress down. Okay, no, that's fine. I forgot that I've already opened up this route. So let's open up the pork. I just want to see. So curious to see what we would get if we had to sell it. Establish trade route. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So we're only getting 4 coin for the pork. Yeah, you know, it's really not worth it. Compared to the carrots, we are getting 5 for the carrots. So the carrots remains the winning one. We do get 6 coin for the chicken, but we produce it so slow. So I don't know if that's also worth it. Okay, well, yeah, we'll stick to the carrots. I'm not gonna touch the pork. So we also need to look at starting to produce the mortar. We've got plenty of rubblestone. So with any extra family members that I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna have to assign them to just do the mortar as well. So our clay furnace is up. I just need to get my fuel also going, boost that a little bit. I've got now 2 families assigned, but we're definitely going to need a 3rd family assigned here, just to keep up with the wood production. And I need to maybe just look at adding a charcoal burner. And we're also going to have to place it maybe more towards this side. And to get a spot for it to just work, you know, we've got so many steep slopes over here. So I'm kind of feeling like I just want to place it over here, right next to the logging camp. And we can just kind of pull the road through over here. Maybe like this. Yeah, let's just do that. That's fine. Now for this burgage plot that I'm building here, this first one, I'm going to actually use this extension slot to build an apiary because we get that pollination benefit. Let's just see here. It's from the meadow, so we've got a 23% bonus from the meadows. So you can see here with the pollination effect, we get a chance of extra crop yields. So yeah, this is gonna help us. I'm gonna just have one of these. I think you only need one for all of these crop fields to benefit. I'm not really sure if it like stacks. I'm not sure. I'm just looking now for the space for the lime kiln. Let's just see here. I know the clay furnace, there was a spot over here that it fitted. Okay, there we go. So they do allow us to place the lime kiln over here. So I'm going to drop it down over there like so. There we go. And I've got now another forest to set up over here. So we're going to quickly replant all of the forest that we've got over here. Now I do want to build up my timber. so that I can start upgrading the manor. Now, in order to upgrade the manor, what's really interesting is the manor doesn't require roof tiles to upgrade this. So you can see over here, we only require planks, redstone, and then the actual timber. So that kind of makes it a little bit easier to upgrade, easier than the church to upgrade. So, but yeah, we're gonna just build up our timber. I'm thinking of placing another logging camp, maybe actually here at the top. You know, just to clear out the trees that's already here. We are going to add a few extra burgage plots, but I'm thinking just maybe like temporarily having a logging camp here at the top might not be a bad idea. So if we maybe set it up on this side, yeah. So then they can start clearing out the trees all around this region over here. And we can just quickly accumulate all the timber that we need in order to upgrade the manor. And then also if we want to upgrade some of these extra burgage plots, we are going to start producing the charcoal. I've got my charcoal kiln up over here. So once I've got that added burgage plots, then we've got the families that we can assign here for the charcoal kiln. And I do think we're going to have to add another family here to the woodcutter side, because you can see the fuel is struggling. So yeah, before we get to the next winter, we need to get that sorted out. Both the charcoal kiln as well as the woodcutters. And in fact, I do want to stop the export maybe here for the wood as well. We're not making that much money from that. So let's just see, with the dressstone, I've got over 100 dressstone. So I think we can maybe open up the export route. So we can say that I can sell the dressstone if we get over 100. So we don't want all of that dressstone just to fill up my storage space over here. And there we go. So we're going to add that family to the logging camp. And in fact, I do think I'm going to just take away one of these families here from the quarry. And just add him here to the logging camp also. I just want to quickly accumulate some of the timber that we need to upgrade the manor. So there we go. We can now upgrade the base structure. So I'm going to do a little bit at a time. Finish one structure and then the tower and then maybe the walls, because that's going to take the longest. Okay, so let's do that. Right, so at the moment I've also got 5 oxen and I've got 3 horses. So that has been improving our trade significantly, just having the horses. And then I think the 5 oxen should do for the setup that we've got here currently. I still need to assign one of my families here to the clay furnace. And you know what, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to take away one of the families here from the quarry as well. We had 3 families there, so we're going to just take one maybe. We've got enough stone in any case, so let's add one family over here. And then we can just start producing the tiles. So then we can upgrade the church. We only need 10 tiles in order for the church to upgrade. And then I see here, okay, the pork is building up nicely. Okay, so clothing. Right, so this is where the problem is going to come in now if we want to go to the tier 3. I think what we can do is we can maybe import the wool. We can maybe just do that. Just see the wool. Oh, it's pretty expensive. I didn't think it was going to be that expensive. Alright, well maybe I should just go ahead and try to add pastures. Even if we are at a higher elevation, maybe I should just build some pastures and see how they get affected. We can maybe do it on this side. But yeah, I'm going to give it a go. Going to give it a try. We are making decent money in any ways. So if the sheep die, it's not going to be as bad. Just want to see if we build... We need a livestock trading post somewhere. I don't think we're going to be... Oh, we are going to be able to squeeze it in here. Okay, now this is great. I didn't think we're going to be able to do that, but I'm going to drop it down right over there. And then I'm not really sure if I should place the pastures on this side or on this side. So let's see if we've got the farm. No, not the farmhouse. We need the sheep farm, right? There we go. Okay, beautiful. So we can fit it in on this side. So then I might as well build my pastures over here. We're going to extend it down. Maybe bring it all the way to here. There we go. And we can fit 50 sheep in here. Nice. And we can do the same on this side. Let's just add some extra pastures. I'm going to maybe divide it into 2 blocks. We can do it like that. And we are at a pretty high elevation, so I don't know if it has also an effect like the higher you go, the more likely it is that your sheep is going to die. I'm not really sure. But yeah, we can just use this little ditch over here. We can use as the pastures. And I want to just give it a go and see how badly they will get affected. At least the winter is not that long, so yeah, I don't think it's going to be too bad. So we've got our base structure finished for the manor, so we can go ahead and upgrade the tower next. I want to see, so we need the mortar. Okay, that's fine. We're going to just leave that for now. We can go ahead and add some extra burgage plots. We've got so much wood now. I'm feeling like I just want to pretty much cover up this whole place with the burgage plots. Just finish it and get it done with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. 7 families that we can get in. And we've got this extra well now, so we don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to have enough water. And let's just extend it. Yeah, I feel just making another square like this. Let's just first pull this road through. Okay. Let's do that. Right. I don't know if this is going to work. I want to kind of bring it around this manor over here. I don't know if it's going to be appropriate. Let's just do this for now. Let's just place 3. Okay, I'll add the other ones a little bit later. Okay, so the people are going to go pretty wild now. They've got a lot of construction going over here. We've got a sheep farm place. We just need now the extra families to operate it. And we've got a livestock trading post also set up now. And we've got space for 9 families now that can move in. I do need to add families also here to the granary and the storehouse. You can see it is getting a little bit congested. But otherwise our food seems to be good still. No issues over there. I keep on forgetting to reassign the families to the forager hut. So we've pretty much gone half of the season now that we can get berries. I haven't assigned any families over here. I just forget to put them back after winter. But our food is looking fine in any way, so we can just use this forager hut as like an emergency maybe. And you can see here my apiary is done now. So we're going to get that extra benefit. Maybe produce some extra crops, a little bit of extra crops. And then what I want to do is I want to also move the carrots a little bit further up. Let's see, where's the carrots? There we go. So we can sell the carrots when we get maybe over 100 carrots. I don't want them to use all of that. So yeah, now we've got food for 5 months. Right, we've got a family at the clay furnace, so the next thing I want to do is get a family here to the lime kiln. Actually, rather let's assign a family here to the charcoal kiln. This is going to produce better fuel for us. I want to get that going. Yeah, it kind of sucks, you know, that the sheep was going to die with this high elevation. Because this would have been like such a cool spot, seeing the sheep graze on this mountaintop. But you do get a development over here. I can't access it now, which will allow your sheep to survive on high elevations. Now, I don't know if they will enable it, like if you open up the second tier over here. I'm not really sure. But in any case, hopefully we'll see more development coming soon. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a whole bunch of pigs on this side again. Now let's see, if I add the burgage plots, let's see if I can extend it like this, right? I don't know if this is gonna work. Let's maybe start on this side. Just want to see if I can get this right. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is kind of the idea that I have. We can maybe do a burgage plot facing the opposite side a little bit later. But I'm going to pull the road through like this. I think it's going to look nice having the burgage plots kind of like around a manor. I'll leave this space open though, because we've got our tower over here. Now we do have plenty of timber, so we can look at upgrading some of the burgage plots. I'm going to unassign these families also soon. Obviously once I've cleared out enough trees and I've got my manor upgraded to the level that I want. Let's just see here. Oh yes, I still need to add that family to the lime kiln. Let's take away maybe one family here from the logging camp. And there we go. Okay, and we do have a family here to the charcoal kiln. But it's taking pretty long to produce the charcoal. Let's maybe just add another family here to the woodcutters. Okay, there we go. But as you can see, our money is doing phenomenal. So we really don't have any issue with money. I'm going to just fill up my retinue over here. Just add a couple of soldiers more. Okay, I want to fill it up all the way before I start attacking the bandit camps, because I don't really want to lose any of my soldiers. I've got a decent amount of mortar now, so I think I want to maybe just go ahead and upgrade the church, and then we can also look at upgrading this garrison tower over here. Did you see? Yeah, okay. We've got everything that we need to upgrade that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then once the tower is done, we can look at upgrading the walls over here. Now that's going to cost a lot of resources, but I'm just doing it, like I say, bit by bit. I feel like that works more effectively than rather than you just upgrading everything at the same time. And now we can also look at just upgrading some extra burgage plots over here. So yeah, we still need families to move in here over here. So that's where you can see everything is looking like there's nothing going on. Yeah, I'm gonna leave those for now. These bottom ones, maybe a few of these chicken coops I can also upgrade, because I do want to change these into workshops. So let's do that. Just gonna go ahead and upgrade them. Our money is looking pretty good, the regional wealth. Now I want to add a family here to the livestock trading post. Okay, so we're going to trade the sheep, import, and let's just maybe say, I'm going to just go ahead and say 30. Let's just do it like so. And we're going to assign one family here to the sheep farm. We've got another space for 8 families still. And actually I can upgrade this house also. Then we can make space for another family. Right, and then once we've got a farmer assigned here, we can start producing the wool. And then we can start our clothing production. And we'll just see how the clothing production is going to go. It's pretty bad. But we'll try and see if we can produce enough clothes just to upgrade at least a few houses to the tier 3. Now here's also a type of glitch within the beta 0.8 version. So once you've upgraded certain parts of your manor, even though you've got the garrison tower, it now shows that I've only got a capacity for 12 troops. So yeah, that is a little bit of a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rally my retinue. And I'm going to open up this castle planner. So I've got all the walls now that I'm going to upgrade over here, as you can see. And we're going to need 94 dress stones. Right, so I just want to see, have we got any rough stone? I'm going to just have to go to the storage here. We don't have rough stone. Okay, so that is the problem. We're going to have to assign extra families here to the quarry. That is what we're struggling with at the moment. So once we get some extra families now, we can just also assign them there to the quarry. But I'm gonna now just use these 18 troops. I did upgrade a whole bunch of them. And I want to just go and take out some of these bandit camps because they're really taking all my resources. So I'm gonna send them down here. You can see we've got a bandit camp right over there. And we've got another one here. And then the third one is all the way on that side. Okay, well that's fine. We're going to send out our troops, just go and take all of them out. And I'm going to probably just send the money towards my regional wealth. Because if you send it to your treasury, you don't get the benefit of all the extra goods. I'm going to rather say send it to my nearest town. Then we do get all the extra items that they stole. Yeah, speaking of the devils. There, they took some extra stuff now. But yeah, my food and everything's looking good. The pork is accumulating like I thought it would. Now I just want to see, we're getting now into winter time. I did assign a family here working at the livestock trading post. Now I don't know, we've got, looks like we've got one, is it one adult sheep? Yeah. Okay, and we're in winter time now. So there's a chance that we might actually lose that sheep. Alright, so here they come. Okay, so it does help if you're on a higher elevation when you're attacking these bandits. And also if we attack them in a formation, that does help. Then right before they get to you, I would say run to position. When you can charge them, that also actually helps. Here we go. I might actually lose one or two of my retinue. We didn't this time. But let's just take out this bandit camp. And see what resources they took from us into nearest town. Yeah, look at all of that stuff that they took from us. Crazy. Okay, on to the next one. I'm still waiting for some extra families to move in. In fact, you know what I can do? I can maybe... Let's just maybe take the family away here from this logging camp. I'm not going to break down the logging camp yet, but I'm going to assign that family specifically to the quarry. So that we can just build up that dress town. And then we can complete that wall for the manor. I think once the wall is completed, it might... Ooh. Oh my goodness. Why is there two bandits? Oh, there's another bandit camp that spawned in over here. I didn't even see this. Okay, this is really bad. Should have actually kept an eye on these guys. Right, so now I lost a lot of my retinue. Because of the second bandit camp that spawned in there. Alrighty, so we've got our church done. Let's see, yeah, that's pretty cool. And we've got an extra family now. I'm going to also assign them to the quarry. We need to really get going with the stone. Okay, so I'm gonna just take out this bandit camp and then I'll probably send my troops back to the town, and then I'm gonna maybe add a few extra soldiers before I go ahead and take out the bandit camp on this side. It doesn't seem like I lost any of my sheep, so the elevation, I think it's not really that bad, to be honest. I did get a message now saying that one of my sheep died, and I had 4 sheep. So one of them did actually die, but we're almost at the end of winter. We're now in February. So yeah, like I say, it's not really that bad. We've got some people struggling with a cold, which I'm kind of like not understanding why, because we've got enough fuel. I think we do need to add maybe some more families working here at the market stall. Yeah, so you can see the supply, it is struggling a little bit. So we've got to probably, maybe we must even place another small market stall on this side. And anyways, we've got another 6 houses available for the families. And I'm going to probably just assign them here to the storehouse, just to help distribute everything. There we go. Let's just see how that goes. Okay, so now we've got 4 families for the granary and also 4 for the large storehouse. I have all the dress stone now that I need to just build this wall here for the manor. So let's just maybe get that going. Okay, I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to just build the manor, and then only after... Sorry, I'm going to just build the wall, the stone wall, and then after I've built that, I'm going to set up the path or the deck, whatever you call it. I'm going to place that afterwards because that takes really long to build. So yeah. But now I need to look at setting up for myself. I need to set up this weaver's workshop. So we need to look for a location where we can place this. Ooh, okay. Well, we can also squeeze it in over here. This is perfect because, I mean, we've got our storehouses right over here. So I'm really glad that we can actually place it on this side. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to place the weaver's workshop right over here. And then once that's done and we've got some families assigned over there, we can start building the artisanal workshops. The tailors specifically, so that we can produce clothes. And yeah, like I say, I do want to maybe upgrade just a few of the houses to the tier 3. I think that would be pretty nice if we can get that going. And I'm going to also go ahead while we're at it, just upgrade a few more of these burgage plots to level 2. That's it. Okay, so currently we've got now 5 sheep. Okay, so they must now just keep on breeding up until we reach the next winter. Hopefully we've got a decent amount of sheep so that it doesn't hit us so badly if they start dying because of the elevation. And I do want to maybe also set up another farmer on this side. I think because I've got all the stone now that I need, I can maybe go ahead and take away 2 of the families over here. And we can add 1 here to the sheep farm. Right. And then we can add another family here to the storehouse. That's it. Okay, perfect. So this should keep us going for quite some time. Now you can see with the small game and with the pork, we've got 50 pork, 61 game. I didn't actually think the game was going to get more than a pork, but maybe the people prefer to eat the pork over the game. But yeah, overall it's pretty good. We've got food for 7 months and we've got fuel for 30 months. Yeah, you can see the charcoal is building up now. Got plenty of firewood. I'm thinking I can probably unassign one of the families here by the woodcutter's lodge. But we'll keep it going for now. It's not taking up too much of the space. We've still got a lot of space left here within the storehouse, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, it's pretty sad that we're now stuck with 12 retinue. Maybe once that wall is finished, it will reset itself, hopefully. But I know it is an issue. I've seen a few other people also report this with the beta 0.8. Now, seeing that we're producing a lot of coin with our regional wealth now, I'm going to also look at adding ourselves a malt house. I might be able to squeeze it in here. I'm really hoping so. No, they're not going to allow us to add it there. Unfortunately not. Okay, this is not too big of a train smash. I think what I can do, I can rather maybe add it over here. It's not too far from where our storage is. But yeah, let's maybe add the malt house over here. And then we can just start producing our own beer. I'm going to import the barley. And let's do that now. Let's just set up that trade route. So we're going to import the barley. I'm going to open up the trade route here. I know it's a minor trade, but I'm going to open it up. Import so that we can do like a frequent trade. And I'm going to just say Let's maybe go for 20, so they can keep on importing 20 barley. We're not going to use any of the redstone anymore, and I think I can actually bring our limit down over here. Let's maybe say if it's over 30, yeah. And I want to maybe open up the roof tiles. Nah, let's leave that. The mortar we can do, we can export. We've got mortar going now. So we can export the mortar. We can add one family over here. Right, we've got our families here with the livestock trading. And we can just add one family here to the Malthouse. I think that should be sufficient in any case. Right, so currently we've got now 27 houses. That is on level 2. You can see they're still busy building this wall. It takes ages. Now we've got the Malthouse set up, so I'm going to assign one family over here. Now we do need to change one of these houses. We need to change into a brewery. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and change this one to a brewery, where we've got the pigs. I don't really want to use this one, but I think it's a good choice to maybe change this to the brewery between the Malthouse and the tavern. And then I think that's going to just provide easy transport for the goods. So let's do that. Change it to the brewery. Okay, now we've used all the families that we had available, and it doesn't look like there's any space for more people coming in. So I'm going to add some extra burgage plots. We've got a lot of logs, so we're not going to run out of timber soon. I'm going to pull it up here, and we can bring it around, and we can kind of do the same as what I did with these other burgage plots. I'm going to kind of just squeeze it in here. The wood is a little bit in the way, but I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go for this layout. I'm going to just place it like that, and now from here we can add a few extra. Oops. Let's just do it like so. There we go. There's another 2. Now I'm going to kind of like make like a triangle over here. Yeah, that's going to fit in nicely. And then we can do this one facing this way. Also kind of connect it here to the wall. Maybe I should do it this way around. Let's try this. See if this works. Too steep? Ah. Just want to see. Why do they say this is too steep? It's pretty strange. Ah, okay, this will work. So maybe if I do it like so. Yeah, let's just do it like so. Why not? We're not gonna get that extension, but I just want to fill that space. Right, and then from here we can do another pig pen. Do a couple here. Right, the Malthouse is operational. We've got a brewery. And now with the brewery, I'm going to just say produce ale until we get maybe... Let's just go maybe up to 50, I think. Right. Then I just want to see you for the trade. So we are exporting the mortar. I think I can just establish a trade route over here as well, just to boost that trade over there. And then we can also say export when we get over 50 of the rubblestone. Yeah. So we've got plenty of good trading items that we can utilize. So let's see. Now looking at this, we've got a decent amount of wool. We've still got the weaver's workshop that needs to be completed on this side. And I'm going to now, for those extra families that we get in, I'm going to assign them there. We can start producing the yarn, and then from there we can do our clothing. Now I can see here that our wall is finished, but unfortunately we're still stuck with only 12 retinue, which really sucks. But in any case, you know, I'm thinking I'm not going to expand the walls further because it's just unnecessary. To be honest, we're not going to go to war at this stage. Although it does look nice having like this wall raised over here. Okay, but you know what? Let's just leave it like that for now. It looks pretty nice the way it is. I'm gonna build myself a woodcutter's lodge over here. I just want to clear out some of these trees. It's looking pretty sloppy with the trees being on top of the manor over here, so I just want to get rid of some of them. And we've also completed now the weaver's workshop. So I'm gonna set a family in there. And now from here we're gonna start producing the yarn, which we then can obviously utilize then to produce some clothing. So let's just see, currently we've got 10 sheep and 5 lambs. So it's been growing pretty nicely throughout the year. We've grown from 4 to 15 sheep in total. So that's pretty good. And we're producing a decent amount of wool now. Right, we've got space for another 5 families. It looks like it. And you can see I've actually lost a sheep over there. There's a little thing that said now we lost a sheep. So it's only September month. We're in the beginning of autumn. And we already lost a sheep. That's not a good sign. With the previous winter I only lost 1 sheep. And that was over a period of 3 months. But now we've just gone into autumn and we've lost a sheep. So I'm really hoping that... Goodness, there's another one dead. Yeah, so you know what? I think the lambs are actually dying. That's how it's looking to me. The lambs are not coping with the elevation. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to carry on like this. I don't really have any other alternative. Yeah, so our woodcutter's lodge is here. I'm gonna take a family here from the quarry again. And we're gonna just assign them here just to clear out some of the trees. In fact, we can take away a family from this woodcutters and we can move them down over here. Yeah, so you can see there's actually quite a lot of sheep that's dying, but it is the lamb specifically from the way that it looks. So we are going to lose a lot of the offspring. It's only the little ones that looks like it's struggling. Right, so I'm gonna have some extra pig farms over here. Here we go. Right, we can add another family. Right, let's just see. Okay, so we've got plenty of ale. We can now just assign a family over here to operate the tavern. And now when we get our next family, I'm going to assign them to this burgage plot over here. And then we're going to change this into a tailor workshop. Because we are starting to produce yarn. And then, yeah, we can just produce some clothing. We can just go ahead and upgrade all of these burgage plots. Right, and I'm going to take my retinue and I'm going to just get rid of some of those extra bandits. Yeah, let's just bring them there. And I'm going to take them out of the running mode. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can really fit a lot on this hill. It didn't look like that initially. And we've got a lot of water supply just between the 2 wells. I mean, there's quite a few extra burgage plots that I can fit here at the back, I think. And you can maybe add another 1 or 2 burgage plots here. But I think I'm going to leave it like this. Right, so I'm going to turn this one over here. Let's just see, I'm going to change this into a tailor workshop. And let's just do one for now. We've still got room for another family to move in. So I think what I want to do is I want to add 2 tailor workshops. And then I'm going to have to add some families here to the forager hut. Because if you look at the needs for the baggage plots on level 2, we need forage goods, or we need 2 different types of vegetables. Now I do have the cabbages as well, but we're obviously not producing enough of the cabbages, or we need grains, which we're definitely not producing. But in any case, so I'm gonna just assign somebody by the forager hut, and that should be sufficient enough for us to then produce the 2 different types of goods and to help us to level up to the tier 3. Right, so we are using the yarn, there we go. And I think what I want to do is I want to say reserve. And I think if we reserve the yarn, it might actually help with the production. So I'm going to tell them to bring 20 yarn, or let's make it 30, why not? We're going to use the yarn exclusively for the tailors in any case. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. And we can then maybe also just add another worker here, another family to the weaver's workshop. And let's just see here. I've lost quite a few sheep, but in spite of that, the sheep's still accumulating. So it does accumulate slowly, even with all the sheep that's dying over the winter time, and there is quite a few that we lost. But it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Right, so we do have the one tailor workshop. I'm gonna add a secondary one soon. I think before I do that, let's just add maybe another burgage plot. So what I'm thinking of doing is we're gonna extend the road. We can just bring it down like so. And then I want to add also like kind of elongated burgage plots over here. Let's just bring this road up. I don't know how many burgage plots we'll be able to fit in here, but if we can do a couple of long ones. See, we can do 2. Yeah, and these ones we can also use for vegetables specifically. Or 1 vegetable and 1 fruit orchard. Here we go. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice so far. But then we've got extra families that we can assign. And we can now see that the berries, the yield is going up. So we can go ahead and let's add another 2 families over here. Gonna just change that to a pig farm, and then here at the back, okay, we've already added the extension over here. Let's do another pig farm on this side. I'm gonna do a couple of them. Yeah, you can see there also that our pork is now at 90, so the pork is slowly but surely accumulating. I just want to see, yeah, so now you can see that it's staying pretty consistent. This radius is not increasing with all of the wood that they're cutting over here because I've got all the foresters. I don't really want to take any of the families away here from the clay mine. So what I was thinking, oh yes, okay, we've got now that extra family. So I'm gonna open up another tailor workshop, and we can do it next to this one. We need that extra family just to help produce the clothes. I'm gonna just add the herb garden over here. Not that it really means much, but I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. I see they chopped down this tree over here, which is great. I do want to clear these trees away from the manor. Right, and now we've got the second tailor workshop. And we want to just also change that to yarn. And we want to reserve 30 yarn for them. Got 2 families here at the weaver, so that's okay. Okay, so the clothing is kind of like accumulating, but it immediately goes away again, so... But let's see, we've got to just press on the tab button just to see which houses we can upgrade. So they allow us to upgrade this burgage plot over here to level 3. And there's probably a few of them that will be able to upgrade here at the bottom. Okay, but in any case, we're going to add... Let's add some veggies. I'm going to do some extra cabbage, I believe. And then over here, we can maybe do some more apples. Alrighty, that's looking pretty cool. That's a really big tier 3 house that we've got going over there. So that's opening up a space for another family now to come in. No storage space left for the woodcutter sludge. Okay, fair enough. I just want you to get this tree gone. Let's maybe sell some of the wood because it is getting a little bit out of hand with my wood supply. So, export, okay. 900 wood, crazy. Okay, so let's just say keep on selling this once it's over 300. Right, we are getting some berries, but I'm thinking of just adding a third family over here. Just to help us get the berries. Right, and that's going to be cabbage, and then, yeah, I'm going to just go for the apples. Right, and I'm going to also go ahead and just upgrade some of these burgage plots. We've got so many production material. Yeah, you can see the clothing is still struggling with 2 tailors that we've got now. I mean, we're only producing enough literally just for the 1 tier 3 house. So I'm guessing we're gonna have to maybe have a 3rd tailor. Yeah, let's do that. Let's add ourselves a 3rd tailor. I do feel like to complete the city we are going to need some more tier 3 houses. It's gonna just look so much nicer. So I've got my 3 tailor workshops now up and running, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna maybe import some clothes as well. It's gonna probably cost pretty expensive, but let's open up a trade route. Yeah, that's super pricey. So we're gonna import, and I'm gonna just say import until we've got 10 maybe. And what I can do in the meanwhile, I can maybe just send out my retinue and just take out some extra bandit camps. And yeah, we will get some extra money that we can add to our regional wealth. So yeah, let's maybe just do that. So yeah, with me importing the clothing, it does seem to work a little bit. So we've got another 2 houses that we can upgrade to the tier 3. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Let's just see here. I've got to just keep an eye on it every now and then. It will allow me to upgrade some of the houses to tier 3. And usually the houses that you'll be able to upgrade are the ones that's the closest to the marketplace. Yeah, there we go. You can see there's a couple now. I'm going to just go ahead and upgrade as many as I can. The clothes go so quick. You can see we've got a lot of sheep that's dying at this stage. We've got 23 lambs, that's also why. So I think the higher your population, the bigger the probability of losing more sheep. So I think there's some sort of sliding scale with that. Now we've got a few of these burgage plots that we can upgrade to level 2. So we can just go ahead and do that also. I'm just sending my retinue out here because we've got one more bandit camp right over there. So I'm gonna just go and take them out so that they can stop stealing my stuff. Now we've gonna obviously, when these burgage plots have upgraded to the tier 3, we're gonna have a lot of families extra that we can then also use for a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, let's see here. Right, we've reached the next civilization level or town level. We are currently classified as a small town. Yeah, I suppose we are. We had a population of 186. And we're probably going to go up to about 200 with those extra 4 families coming in. There we go. Okay, at least none of my soldiers was lost. So we can just clear out that camp quickly. You see, the center territory is a pretty nice territory to have. It would have been ideal if you could farm in this territory. I mean, there's a lot of space you can utilize for farming. Although this whole region, I mean, yeah, you can't really build much over here. But this space is pretty big. Surprisingly big with all of the houses that I've got in here currently. Yeah, this is looking pretty cool with these tier 3 houses that I've got up. They don't allow us to build any more. The clothing just goes too quick. Let's just see here with the yarn. Yeah, there's still a lot of yarn left also. Now we've got an extra family that's now added here to the tailor workshop, so maybe they'll produce the clothing a little bit faster. It does look like it though. Well, that's for me, everybody. I've pretty much done what I've wanted to do, and I think it's a pretty cool looking town. There is a little bit of space, maybe for 5 or 6 burgage plots extra, but you can see that you can build a pretty decent sized town on top of this mountain, and it looks pretty neat. Now, if you enjoyed this playthrough, please do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and then I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.
In a game of adventure and strategy, we make our mark. Accident